Mr. Arana says he thought investing in Miss Gray's taco business would bring them closer together. Instead, he says her behavior has been harder to stomach than a 7-layer burrito. Today on Divorce Court. All rise. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding.
Hello, everyone. You may be seated.
Your Honor, the case of Arana v. Gray.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arana. Ms. Gray, it's a pleasure to have you here on Divorce Court. I'm glad that you are trusting us with your relationship. I understand you've been together for 6 years. You have no children together. However, our plaintiff has 1 child and our defendant has 4 children, if I'm not mistaken. You presently live together, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Wonderful. Why are we in court today, Mr. Arana?
Your Honor, I'm here today to find out if Nakea is cheating. I've been used, I've been betrayed, and I suspect her cheating. I want her to take a polygraph to find out if she's cheating today. And if she's cheating, I want my $1,000 refunded back today.
Wow. So you've come to court with some suspicions, and
Yes.
you want some clarification on where you stand. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that's it.
Ms. Gray, you heard what Mr. Arana said. What do you say, ma'am?
Well, ma'am, Your Honor, I am here today to prove my innocence and just basically get all this toxicity out of our situation and just to prove to him that I'm not a cheater and I'm not a user.
And so this is an interesting allegation because the two of you have had some ups and downs, and you would admit that. Am I correct, Mr. Arana?
Yes, ma'am.
In the relationship, but somehow you've brought yourself back together again. Why don't you take me back to when it was all good, when you first met? Mm-hmm. How'd you meet, and what got us to a point where we're here in divorce court?
Me and Nakea met in the summertime. Mm-hmm. We met, I have my own production company. We were filming a commercial, and I noticed Nakea, giving me Google eyes, and, we started from there. We started chatting, we exchanged numbers, and from there we went out to brunches. We went out to the nightlife. We talked about, her business that she was starting.
So, Mr. Arana, next thing you know, you decide, this lady can really cook. Let me help her with her business.
Oh, yes.
So tell me about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Nakea, she was, selling plates faster than you can imagine. So things started changing. I think Nakea started working more on her nonprofit organization.
But wait a minute. It's my understanding that what was a at-home business turned into a brick-and-mortar business. Yeah. Ms. Gray, you had your own restaurant. Am I correct?
Yes, he actually invested in my restaurant for me.
And so that you were able to have a place where people could come and pick up their food. And did that increase the business?
Yeah, it did. But I just feel like it should have been more.
Ah, so you invested in a business and thought that she would be dedicated to growing it, and you didn't see that. Is that correct?
I invested like 9.9 thousand.
Almost 10 grand.
Almost 10 grand.
Okay, and Ms. Gray, you agree that Mr. Arana really did invest in the business?
Yes, he did.
So what happened?
So what happened was when we started to decline, he had a hidden agenda.
Okay, what was the agenda?
He had an idea that he wanted to do tacos and tat-tas.
Okay.
Yes. And I have children.
Corey, do tacos and tat-tas go together?
No, they don't.
Right?
Okay. What was the business plan surrounding tacos and tat-tas? Was it supposed to be topless women serving the tacos?
Yes, I had, it was after 10 o'clock, that I brought the women in. It was some friends that I knew from, back a while. And they came in bikini tops and stuff like that. I mean, the customers and everyone loved it.
Okay. So that was a different business concept, Ms. Gray.
And that's the problem, because I have children. My children would come to my restaurant after school, and imagine 3 little girls at the time running into tacos and tat-tas. Not just that, I have a representation in the city because I have a nonprofit. So who wants to represent tat-tas and you are an activist for the community?
Okay, so you're telling me this didn't go with the brand that you were trying to build?
No.
So then why did we change the brand?
He changed the brand. I was on a trip, he's not being honest with you, and he was insisting that I make this flyer. And I told him, no, Tino, that's his nickname. I don't want to do tacos and tat-tas. You know, I represent my nonprofit, and we can't do that, and I have the girls. But he doesn't understand that. He just insists I make this flyer.
So he was trying to get his money back, right? Right, Mr. Arana?
Yes.
But that was never my intention. And he never told me I had to pay him anything back.
So what ended up happening with this topless flyer and tacos and tacos?
Yes, so I came home and he said, oh, don't worry about it, just take the kids straight home when you come in. I was like, no, I'm gonna stop by the restaurant. I go in there and tacos and tat-tas, all right. Cricket lace fronts and everything that was going on.
So Mr. Arana, you went ahead with the idea.
Yes. Your Honor, I worked my butt off. And
What role were you playing in the business?
I was the manager.
Oh, but Ms. Gray did not want to turn her business into, shall we say, like a strip club for tacos.
Thank you.
Okay, I mean, that's not what she wanted. It's not, that may be a fun concept, I don't know. Because they tell me that chicken wings are the best that you can get at the strip club. I don't know. Not that I would know one way or the other, but if tacos and tat-tas work, no judgment, but the owner of the business didn't want it.
Your Honor, when the money came in and the money was right, she loved it. It was no problems at the end of the night when we counted out the money.
So, because the two of you could not come to a meeting of the minds on how the business was going to run, y'all ran the business into the ground.
He ran a business into the ground.
When we got back together, I noticed down the line that Nakea was pregnant. We started going to the doctor's appointments, and that's when I realized that the math wasn't coming together, Your Honor.
Did you tell him you were pregnant with another man's child?
Well, it's not his, so he automatically knew.
And he knew this before you all got back together?
Yes.
Mr. Arana, is that true?
No, Your Honor.
I have a note that your girlfriend betrayed you.
Yes, she had.
And you all were on a break.
Yes.
Explain to me that dynamic, and I will give you the opportunity to talk.
Well, we broke up, and during our time of us being broken up.
How long were you apart?
I'll say at least about 6 months.
Okay, so what happened?
We were broken up at least about 6 months, Your Honor, and you know, that doesn't mean, you know, Nakea should be talking to anyone.
No, what were the stipulations in the breakup?
The stipulations was no having sex, not talking to anyone, no
And
dating.
you all both agreed to that?
We both agreed on that.
Okay, Ms. Gray, now I want to hear from you. Was that the agreement?
He's lying again, Your Honor. We broke up for 2 months, and there was no stipulations because I'm a grown woman.
So you're telling me, Ms. Gray, you never agreed to not seeing anybody else, not being intimate with anybody else, because as a grown woman, you can make choices for yourself. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Mr. Arana, that was not your understanding?
No.
So there was not a meeting of the minds in terms of the understanding?
He's delusional.
So after 2 months,
Your
or
Honor?
6 months, whichever time period it is, there came a time when you came back together, am I correct?
Correct.
So what happened when you all got back together?
Well, Your Honor, when we got back together, I noticed down the line that Nakea was pregnant, and yeah, and you know, I supported it. She told me that the baby was mine, and you know, we started going to the doctor's appointments, and that's when I realized that it wasn't coming together.
In other words, the math wasn't mathing.
The math wasn't coming together, Your Honor. I feel like, you know, during our break time, I feel like, you know, that's when she got pregnant.
Is the baby Mr. Arana's?
No, and he knows that.
Did he know that when you came back in his life? Did you tell him
Yes.
that you were pregnant?
Yes.
Did you tell him you were pregnant with another man's child?
Well, it's not his, so he automatically knew.
And he knew this before you all got back together?
Yes.
Mr. Arana, is that true?
No, Your Honor.
I can't believe that that would be true, Ms. Gray. I don't know, But Mr. Arana doesn't look like the kind of man that would have taken on that level of responsibility without having a conversation. Mr. Arana, are you telling me you were led to believe that she was pregnant with your child? Is that the truth?
Yes, Your Honor. When we got back together, things were going great. I mean, the business, we started to invest more into the business and stuff like that. And yeah, she assured me that the baby was mine. I mean, I bought everything from Pampers to, you name it, clothes and stuff.
Is that true, Miss Gray?
Says that the guy that invested in my building. Come on now.
No, Miss Gray, serious business. I mean, you clearly were pregnant. I'm looking at the date. You have a 1-year-old child. So you knew that it was not his child when you came back home. I mean.
And he knew too. He knew too. He's in denial. My timeline is blurred with all this stuff he's making up here today.
You start feeling like the defendant is cheating again. Am I correct?
Correct. I caught her on the phone talking to another dude and blowing kisses.
Lie.
And blowing kisses?
He's delusional and he lives in his head.
So let's get to the questions. Have you had sexual contact with anyone else while being with Mr. Arana?
Polygraph examination revealed.
Thank you.
So I understand that after the whole pregnancy and you broke up after the baby was born, and then you got back together. Miss Gray just said the same thing. So now you're back together, but then all of a sudden you start feeling like the defendant is cheating again. Am I correct?
Correct. I caught her on the phone talking to another dude, and blowing kisses.
Lie.
And blowing kisses?
Oh,
when I told her she's talking to,
He's delusional
she's
again.
lying. She's lying and say it's not another guy. But then when I go and check her phone, she's texting the dude saying I love you and stuff like that.
Miss Gray, do you want to be with Mr. Arana?
At this point, I don't know what's going on.
But
He's checking my phone. I never knew he checked my phone.
Okay, I could tell you right now he's checking your phone because he don't trust you. I could tell you that right now. I mean, we're sitting here, let's all be grown people. And let's have a real conversation. If you want to be in a fake conversation, y'all can do that at home. When you come in here, I expect you to be real because this is real life, real people, real situations, real children that are going to be impacted on.
Yes.
You can't be bringing people all into the kid's life and then one day they're in and one day they're out because y'all are being irresponsible. So if we're going to tell the truth, let's tell the truth.
I always tell the truth, Your Honor. It's him. He's delusional and he lives in his head.
So we got the kisses that are being blown, allegedly.
He's making that
Your
up.
Honor, there was another time that Nakea was supposed to be out selling food, and she was with another guy.
What makes you think she was with another guy? Because Miss Gray is going to say you're delusional.
She told me that she was out with the girls, for her nonprofit organization. And it comes to find out that one of my friends called me and told me they was out and about, and she was with another guy. So I believe.
So you have suspicions, is the point?
I have suspicions,
All the time.
Your Honor.
So Miss Gray, why do you think Mr. Arana does not trust you?
Because tacos and tat-tas.
Your Honor, I loaned Nakea $1,000, and she told me that she would give it back to me. Every time that I ask her for my money, Your Honor,
That's
she
not true.
tells me to charge it to the game.
That's not, I don't even talk like that. That's
So,
not even true. He's just mad about tacos
I'm
and
confused.
tat-tas, Your Honor.
I'm confused.
Well,
charge it to the game.
That's why we're here. Tacos and tat-tas.
Now, actually, Mr. Arana has said that he is questioning your truthfulness and your honesty.
And I'm not a liar.
It's interesting because he petitioned the court for a polygraph examination.
Yes.
And when it was posed to you, Ms. Gray, you said that you would submit to a polygraph examination so that you could put this all to rest. Am I correct?
Yes, because I'm tired of the toxicity.
So, Mr. Arana, I want to provide you with the answers that you have asked for. So I asked my expert, John Yarbrough, who is a certified polygraph examiner from Guardian Polygraph Services, to perform services for this court. Would you ask the witness to join us, Corey, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good day, Your Honor.
Good day, Mr. Yarbrough. Mr. Yarbrough, just so that the two of you know, has been an expert in this field for both public and private entities for many, many years. Based on his extensive experience and credentials, I've used him numerous times in this courtroom and found him qualified as an expert in polygraph examinations to provide those services. I find him so today. So let's get to the questions.
Okay.
Mr. Yarbrough, question number one. We asked Ms. Gray, did you have any sexual contact with the person Mr. Arana has accused you of kissing while on the phone with him? That's the kissy face accusation.
That is correct, Your Honor.
What was Ms. Gray's answer to that question?
Her answer was no.
And what did the test results indicate?
Polygraph examination revealed there was no deception indicated to that question.
She told the truth.
No.
Very
Now,
specific.
smooch that.
Mr. Yarbrough, the second question we asked Ms. Gray, other than with your ex, have you had sexual contact with anyone else while being with Mr. Arana?
That is correct, Your
Another
Honor.
specific question. What was Ms. Gray's answer to that question?
Her answer was no.
And what did the test results indicate?
The polygraph examination revealed she was being truthful when she answered that question.
There's no deception.
Thank you. Beyonce has told the
And
truth.
there is a third question. We asked Ms. Gray, in the past 6 months, have you had any sexual contact with your ex?
That is correct.
What was Ms. Gray's answer?
She self-admitted and said yes. They had
Thank you.
sexual contact in the last 6 months.
You have your answers, Mr. Arana.
Thank you.
Mr. Yarbrough, thank you so very much. You
You're
don't
welcome.
always have good news, but you have truthful news. Thank you,
Your Honor,
sir.
I'm done.
Thank you
Done.
very much.
I'm
done.
not a liar. Today,
I knew something was going on today.
showed
I just knew it.
everything.
You know,
He's delusional.
I'm mad.
I told you,
You know, I knew something was going on.
He's
I knew
delusional.
you a cheater, and you've been
How?
doing it. You used me for my money.
weren't together.
And you will never
In the
get it
last
again.
6 months, y'all have been back together.
because he insisted.
Your Honor, again, me donating all that money to her, that's what she like.
He never
just
told me
money.
I had to pay him
That's all she
anything
sees,
back.
the money.
Well, I've got to be straight with you. I'm not surprised because it seems honesty wasn't on your agenda today. I never understand why folk are with people when they clearly don't want to be with them. Unless there is a hidden agenda, and that hidden agenda is your check's clear. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried that you have had your kindness mistaken for weakness.
Yes, they always, you know, that's what it seems like, Your Honor. I've been being used, I'm too nice, and
Well,
whatever.
Mr. Arana, your kindness is a strength. People shouldn't confuse it with weakness.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I got the news that I wanted today. I just want my $1,000
I
refunded
don't owe
back to
him
me.
anything.
I got news for you. Miss Gray doesn't seem like the kind of person that's gonna write a check.
Period.
She seems like the kind of person that's gonna take a check but not write a check.
Period.
You're right, Your Honor.
And guess what, Mr. Arana? Anybody that would put herself in such a trick bag to let everybody that's listening to this testimony know that she used you in this way,
Yeah.
I didn't use
that's
him.
setting her up for the next sucker.
Right.
I got news for you. You're a better man than that. If I was you, I would take my child, make sure my child does not see this as an example of the kind of woman he wants, because she's not the kind of woman you need.
Thank you, Your
This
Honor.
case is closed.
Thank you.
Made in Georgia.